Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I will describe to you a very nice mini bag work that I prepared with spaghetti shelf yarn. I want to show you our model closely. Look, we will prepare our bag by working on the spike sample using the single needle technique. It is incredibly easy and enjoyable to make. Open the lock part and open the inside part. I want to show you, it was a nice bag, very deep and useful. Look, the front of our bag looks like this. It's a really useful model, as is the back part. It is incredibly easy to make. You can easily knit and prepare it in just a few hours. You can knit and prepare more than one in a day. It's really very useful. You can even sell this model. I definitely recommend you to knit and try it. I enjoyed it very much while working. I hope you like it and try it too. I tried to share all the details with you with tips in the video. I hope that will be useful. Before moving on to our detailed recipe, I would like to make a small request from you. I would be really happy if you could subscribe to our channel for free, like the video, and leave your comments. Let's move on to our recipe. I used spaghetti yarn, rack yarn for my bag. I would like to share the content of the rope with you right away. The mixture is 100% paper, 100 meters long, weight between 75 and 100 grams. One ball of yarn was enough for one such mini bag. The size of my bag was 17 centimeters wide and 20 centimeters long. The measurements I have given here may differ from your measurements even if we use the same yarn and the same crochet number. This may vary depending on our knitting frequency and looseness. If your hands are very tight, you may need a second ball of yarn. It is worth mentioning this at the beginning. But if you are going to make a bag of this size, one ball of yarn is easily enough, as I said. Look, I even have enough left over to knit a few secrets. But as I said, this may vary depending on the density and looseness of our knitting. It is worth mentioning this at the beginning. I will also use a mini vector set here. I bought this set from Atelier Gulen Bag. Again, I will add the Instagram account and website in the description section below. You can also shop safely from there. I'm going to use a blue tone like this. As I said, you also have different color options. You can see here my crochet number will be 5 millimeters. You can determine your own crochet number according to the thinness and thickness of your own yarn, the tightness and looseness of your knitting. Look now, I am taking my shelf yarn. Especially this color is incredibly soft. It is a very easy knitting. I will start explaining it right away. It is a very simple model. Pull a chain and just single needle. Look, we will prepare our knitting with the technique, but we will work these single needles in the form of a spike model. And there is a trick to making these spikes overlap like this. I will share this trick with you right away. In the video, we start with the chain. After locking our first chain, look at the setting we knitted. We pull our starting chains so that they are a little bit loose. Here I made 21 chains in total, but I got 17 centimeters with 21 chains. But as I said, depending on the tightness and looseness of your hand, even if we use the same thread and the same crochet number, even if we start with the same chains, the size may be different. You can do this until you reach 17 centimeters, or you can pull your chain as much as you want until you reach the size you want. You can adjust the length and starting chain numbers according to your needs. Now here I am, pulling my starting chains. Now, since I will not be working on a very large model, I will describe my bag to you in a small model, so I am pulling my chain a little. This many chains are enough. Now I turn the reverse part of our chain, not the straight part. We will sink into the dashed lines on the back. Look at these visible dashed lines. We will sink to these points. Now we leave the last chain. Let's leave the last chain we pulled and stretch our stitch a little bit in the meantime. Look, I'm sinking into the other chain. I'm making a loop on the back cut line. I have 2 loops. I've wrapped them around. I'm knitting a single crochet. I'm making a single crochet by sinking into the back cut line of another chain. I'm knitting a single crochet. Now, like this, I'm going into each chain once and making a single crochet. We will knit needles. At this stage, if you think I knitted too fast, you can slow down the video or on the contrary, watch it by speeding it up. But my advice to you is to listen to the video without rewinding, because I share important tips with you step by step as I remember them. I definitely recommend that you watch the videos and listen carefully. Now look, we are close to the final point here. We also sank into our chain here. Now I'm dipping into the last chain here in the backslash line. I'm knitting 1 single crochet. Now I'm sinking into the same spot. I knit on the second single needle. Let's tighten this point a bit. Look at the same point. Second single crochet. I'll leave the thread here. We can visit it later. Sink to the same point again. I am knitting the third single crochet. I knitted 1 or 2 or 3 single crochets for the return. Look, these single crochets should not be too tight. Now, since I pressed it with my hand, see that the raffia takes shape immediately. Now we will knit without crushing the raffia, which is important in this model. Lastly, look at the most important tip here. You will see it now when we knit it. We will proceed without hand ironing. Until we finish our knitting, we will knit neatly. Let's knit carefully without skipping single crochet. Now look, I knitted 1, 2, 3 single needles in the corner. Now we have passed to the opposite side. The chains look like spikes on the hook. We are sinking to this point. Squeeze again. I sink into the next chain. Single needle. These points are the vertical points of the single needles directly opposite. This way I keep my hands as loose as possible. At this point, if your hand is too tight, you can use 6mm or even 7mm crochet hook. Never shake your hand. Look, we will knit loosely like this. It is such a beautiful yarn when you hold it in your hands that it is an incredibly beautiful and useful yarn, especially for summer works like this. Now we have come to the final point here. I digress on the last point here. Second single crochet. We knitted one when we started. Now we knit the second one. Now let's dive into the same point and stretch our loop a little. We knit the third single needle. Now at this point we will continue our knitting by knitting directly in a spiral manner without doing any joining, hiding, etc. I'm stretching my noose. I prick the middle part of the incoming single needle. Look, this is head space. This part is right in the middle. It will look like this from behind. I'm making a loop. Single needle. Look at the middle of another single needle. I'm sinking in the middle of the next single needle, not at the top. I'm knitting a single needle from the back by removing the stitch that will come off the crochet like this. I'm not crushing it here. Look, I don't shape it while knitting. I knit a single needle directly and leave it. I'm sinking in the middle of the next single needle. I took out a single needle. Look at the exact point of the single needle. I sink in the middle and it comes out from the back like this. This is how we created the Virgo model. We put this in the baskets a lot while working with pen yips. Those who remember will find it. It's a very enjoyable model. We create the Virgo pattern by inserting the needles right in the middle. While I generally work with paper thread or box thread, this is also true for single needles. When working with paper thread and rack thread, slips usually occur in the single needle. Shifts occur either to the right or to the left. This happens because we constantly straighten our hands while knitting. This is a very important tip without leveling. How did I learn this? Actually, I learned this through experience over time. Here now we will knit our single needles. Finally, we will level it, so we will finish the complete bag. Lastly, because we distort our hands while knitting like this, when we straighten our hands lastly, we will have a beautiful form like this. Now look, we come to the triple crochet in the corner. There are no raises. After this, let's find the exact middle by knitting single needles by dipping into each one once. We will knit our single needles. We prick the middle part of each single needle. We knit single needle. We do the same process in this triple corner. If you want, you cannot triple stitch in the corners. You can pass by sinking directly across. Now after this stage, the depression will start. Look, we apply the same process to the 3 single needles we knitted in the corner. We knit 1 single needle in each of them and give the spike model by sinking in the middle. I want to knit a little bit. At this stage, I want to knit without cutting, so I want to show you the form of what I'm doing directly. There is nothing different. Look, there is a pitching here now. I need to translate this. Look, I need to open it this way. As I have said many times, we need to do this without crushing or disrupting. I'm throwing it, like this, right in the middle of the single crochet. And I knit single needle again. Now, opposite the point where the short rope is the point where our end and beginning are. If you want, you can attach a safety pin to this point, but since the short rope is left here, I won't wear it now. Look, This is our ending and starting point. Now I find this point top of the next single crochet. I sink right into the middle. And single needle. Look, we started another row, we knitted the last point here. Look like this, I don't straighten my hand at all. Now I go into the middle of the next single needle and make a stitch. I knit a single needle. I sink into the middle of another single needle. I knit my single needle again. Look like this, there is no difference. Very, very much. It's an easy model. Just like I said, there are tips. If you pay attention to them, you can easily make such neat and beautiful bags. You can even sell them. These are really beautiful looking bags. Look, when I knit it like this, it looks like this. Finally, we will knit this in a spiral shape. This is our ending and starting point. There is no difference. There's no merging or anything like that. Now I want to knit a little like this, as I have described to you. I just want to lengthen it a little bit by dipping into the middle parts of the single needle. I also want to show his form in that state. I would also like to share with you the version after straightening it. Look, here I raised the wall by building it a little bit. Look here, our hand gets a little tighter since we haven't made any planes. Let's pay attention to this. If we knit in the same setting, we will get a beautiful uniform knit. Now look, the ears of grain normally lie on top of each other like this. Now we will flatten it with our hands. We will do this at the last stage. I make planes on the inside with my hand. You can also iron it if you want. There will be no distortion, but a hand iron rack is enough for thread. So, I don't need it when I'm working with a shelf rope. It takes shape immediately after crocheting. Look, the ears look like this on top of each other. It's a very easy construction. If you want, you can sew a lining inside. Now look here, I prepared my bag. This is the small version. Now here I have described the bigger one to you. We only knit it like this. Lastly, we knit it by hand crocheting. Look, I want to show it on the inside. It is quite deep, and if you have your phone, glasses, a mini wallet, etc., they will fit in easily. Now I will complete my bag with the mini back set. Look, I didn't cut my rope here, so I want to show you how I did it. Now I won't do inner plowing, etc. Here, since it already looks like a pattern, I will finish my bag directly with only single crochet. Now at this stage I cut my rope enough. After the last crochet, I take out my yarn and take it to another point from here. After taking this yarn, you can use a smaller numbered crochet hook in the middle parts. Now I will use a 3mm crochet hook. I will hide my yarn by passing it through the intermediate points and fix it. Let's do it quickly. I have hidden my yarn here now. Now I will place my mini Bexit in my bag. It has a long stem. Look, there are tiny leather devices like this to place the handle. These are placed on the edge. But since my rope is thick, I won't use it. You can use it if you want. You can sew it with threads like this. Or you can use paper threads of the same color, or you can use different threads. There is also such a key point. Look at the snap. It is installed quite easily. Let's quickly assemble this right now. This is how we completed our bag. I hope you like it and try it too. I wish good luck to those who will do it. Don't forget to like our video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. Goodbye until we see you in the next video.